couple of these creep tumors, and he's going to continue turtling up, getting those siege tanks up, moving out those marines, and he does have a couple marauders in the composition as well. Burrow is actually being researched as well. Tarson trying to get a missile turret up and just trying to turtle up little by little, but those mulists are going to continue to harass. There are a lot of marines though, and a lot of mulists are getting shot down, and a little bit of a missed micro for DarkForce. But it looks like he has sent his lings and banglings in to try and take out as many of these forces as possible. He did take out a lot of siege tanks, but those marines are going to be able to push away the banglings and the zerglings. And now DarkForce has a very massive force of marines. He's stemming up to move them up as fast as possible to try and take out a couple of DarkForce's base. Those mulists are going to be no match against that many marines. He instantly dies, getting evaporated by those marines. The lings trying to get away, but they're going to get evaporated as well. And a lot of lings are now moving in, trying to take out as many of these forces as possible. Siege tanks are moving in, and the banglings, oh my god! The complete destruction of Tarson's infantry forces. He did manage to save one marine, but oh, all those motivacs are going to get completely shot down if he's not careful. And just to let everyone know, in 1.1.2 patch, the medevacs are a little bit slower now. They actually take a little bit longer to go up. And Tarson taking this chance, now that he has some map control, to get that base, getting all his SCVs over here to repair and keep this base alive. He really needs this base. He is getting a planetary fortress as well. DarkForce building up a large force of lings and banelings. He did lose a lot of mutas in that attack. But DarkForce is also operating on the high yield as well, so DarkForce is just rolling in the minerals. Meanwhile, Tarson is barely holding on. He needs to get a better economy, and he's moved he moved all his harvesters to this third base over here. There's almost no harvesters over at the natural, even though it is relatively closer. And this is a little bit of a bad decision over here. He's oversaturated at his command center. And, oh man, I don't know what Tarson's doing. He needs to move a couple of these SCVs back to his natural so he can mine optimally out of all the SCVs he has. He is getting a lot of missile turrets up so he can keep turtling and keep his map control. DarkForce is just continuing to build a lot of banglings and getting a couple zerglings as well. But DarkForce is just going to be rolling in minerals, getting 28 zerglings, and he isn't mining out of his third base right now. He is completely mined out of his main. He is starting to get mined out of his natural as well. And DarkForce is continuing to build a lot of zerglings. I actually prefer if you get a couple infestors instead, but it looks like he's going to continue getting zerglings and banelings. And it looks like a small force of marines managing to take out this hatchery, and this could be bad. Tarson is going to lose all of these marines to the DarkForce's forces over here, but DarkForce did lose that hatchery. And Tarson just content to sit there with all his missile turrets all over the place. Getting a couple supply depots up here as well to try and block off. I guess block off, because I don't really suggest building supply depots this forward, because you can get easily supply blocked that way. But now Tarson has a firm control over this area, except he doesn't have missile turrets built up here. Too busy building them up in the front. And DarkForce managed to take out a couple of these SCVs. And there are a lot of siege tanks over here. Couple marines as well, but they're trying to take out all these mutalisks that are just harassing Tarson. And Tarson's still not mining out of his natural, even though he's got a couple minerals left over here. DarkForce now long distance mining out of the high yield, and that hatchery is going to get up relatively soon. Oh, and the siege tanks are starting to move out. They're going to be able to take out that third base. The banelings are trying to move in, but those siege tanks are going to completely evaporate those banelings, but not before Tarson loses a lot of the marines, and he lost, I think, one siege tank out of that whole mess. DarkForce now could be in serious trouble, and those mutalisks are trying to push in, trying to take out as many of these siege tanks as possible, trying to take out the marines as well. But these marines are stemmed up. You do have the medevac support. The mutalisks trying to fly around, find a place that there's an opening, and oh, DarkForce is losing a lot of mutalisks, and not enough marines are going down DarkForce to be able to do anything. And now Tarson is backing up. And now DarkForce and Tarson are kind of in an awkward position. Tarson trying to get a couple siege tanks to move forward, and there are still a lot of Marines on the field, and they're going to be able to completely annihilate whatever's left of DarkForce's base over here, taking out the extractor. But once again, Tarson is not mining out of his natural still. He's just completely focusing on that third base over here. He is trying to move up, and he does have a lot of Marines, and he has relatively good control, but he is losing a lot of siege tanks. DarkForce getting a lot more banelings so he can try and deal with all these Marines. And one good suggestion I would give him is to move these banelings around into the back of these siege tanks. The Marines and siege tanks are moving forward, and they have scanned over DarkForce's base over here. And oh, there are a lot of drones over here, and he's going to take out this high yield once again. The Mulas aren't able to do anything against all these Marines. The Mulas are getting completely evaporated by those Marines, and those Mulas aren't going to be able to do anything. Now DarkForce is in a very bad position. He is trying to long distance mine out of that third mineral patch over here. And Tarson just has so many Marines and siege tanks that there's not much that DarkForce can do with all these Mutilas. But there are, I think, where are all the banelings actually? The banelings all disappeared somewhere. I'm not sure where they actually went. But now Tarson is in a firm position of control. Hive getting researched for DarkForce, and I think he might be thinking going Ultralist, which is actually a pretty good idea against that many siege tanks, but there are a lot of Marines as well. Oh, there's a couple banelings buried over here, and I think DarkForce is going to try and bait these Marines, and if he does successfully bait them in, oh man, this could be very bad for Tarson. But Tarson seems to have like a sixth sense, backing up, not going in any further. I think he's waiting, and he is getting another command center. DarkForce also getting a hatchery behind the rocks over here, but the rocks have been destroyed. The baneling's just waiting, and I think this is a little bit of a bait coming from DarkForce, trying to get those Marines to walk right on top of those banelings. The siege tanks are going to siege up. They're going to stem up, but they're going to walk back. I think Tarson has some idea what's going on over here, and I think he's going to be waiting for a scan. If Tarson's not careful, he's going to lose one of these siege tanks. It almost goes down, and he's going to siege up some more. And oh man, oh, he almost goes in. He is moving half his force in, and they are going to stem up half of his forces, and the rest of them are trying to, I don't know what they're doing. He's just dancing all over the place, trying to figure out what he wants to do. The Marines are dangerously close to this giant landmine field, and I think if just one or two pops up, that would be nice, but Tarson just being very careful, moving into small groups, having the Marines move in slowly but surely. And oh man, a couple of these banelings do get taken out, and those Marines get burned away by those banelings. And now the rest of the forces of Marines are coming in, and the banelings won't be able to do much against all these siege tanks just holding position over here. And all these Marines completely melt away those banelings. And oh man, DarkForce GG's out. So Tarson showing very good control over here, and not just moving in his Marines, and DarkForce kind of a miss micro here. And the siege tank is actually an amazing tactic over here, keeping it just inside of this site and then moving it across, so as soon as those banelings pop out, they would explode. And oh man, Tarson does take game one. So thank you guys all for watching. Please subscribe to youtube.com/KesselGamer, that's Kesl Gamer, and I will see you guys next time. Kessel signing out.